I've been to St John's a few times, try and get down sort of a couple of times a year, normally about the springtime, and to be honest, we've had some real good hits. I think in the past we've had sort of anything from 30 to over 40 fish hits in sort of 2-day session, like an overnighter, about 36 hours roughly sort of.
We try and come in spring, sort of when they're waking up, so it's sort of any time sort of between about beginning of April to beginning of June.
One of our favourite styles of fishing is zigs and the solid bags, and to be honest, that time of year both methods work perfect. The zigs being because obviously a lot of the fish spend a lot of time in the upper layers and you can have some real good hits, and then solids always work well on here wherever you end up getting a swim. The most effective colour and depths we've found on St John's, to be honest, is always, for the couple of years that we've fished it, always seems to be anything from about 7 to 9 foot. 9 is normally, because it tends to be about 11, 12 foot out there, so that's normally sort of 2 foot under the surface. That's when it's sort of quite warm and the fish are quite evident that they're on the real high up in the water. But 7 is really good, it seems to be very effective at night as well.
Most important thing if you want to catch them on the zigs is finding the fish up in the water. Like, you've got to find the fish. It's no good setting up all the way down that end of the lake and all the fish are down here. And I'd alter the depths with all 3 rods to start off with. Obviously on hot sunny days it's a bit of a no-brainer. You want to be in that top 2 foot, I personally think.
How I'd know if I was going to use zigs or fish on the bottom, like I say, one, depending as soon as I got here, if I was to find the fish and it was evident they was in the upper layers, straight away I would definitely put at least 2 rods on the zigs, maybe all 3 to start with. If there was no evidence of any sort of fish in the upper layers and it was like a bit, and the lake had been fishing a bit sort of iffy and no one had been catching, and no one had really given no sort of evidence of exactly where they've been catching or what upper layers on the deck, then I would play about for myself and find, and so I'd probably start definitely one on the deck, one at sort of maybe mid depth, and then one higher up, and then just play about between the 2, and then I would fish the one on the bottom over bait as well. If it was awful weather, like chucking it down a rain, windy and whatever, then I would definitely obviously be fishing on the deck, normally probably 2, 3 rods, straight on the bottom, like I say on here, normally over bait. With a solid bag, it's just real quick, easy fishing. We fish them normally, you can fish them on their own, but we fish them on here at Linear over a bed of bait. So the bed of bait being all small particles, hemp, corn, maggots, and a solid bag presented over the top of that. It's just a pile of pellet with a little, normally like a little yellow or pink or whatever colour, little dumbbell, which it sort of is like another piece of corn. So they're grubbing about, coming in for the little particles, and again with the bag, obviously that's hitting the deck. Even when they are in the upper layers, we're injecting it with like goo and oil, and so even if they are a little bit higher up in the water, it's dragging them down to the solid, and then they're homing in on that, and it's just literally it's one mouthful and it's a bite.
St John's is more like my favourite lake now of all time. It used to be Horseshoe, but over the last few springs where I've fished St John's has more like become my favourite lake.
Yeah, in the springtime on St John's, if you can get a swim where you're on fish, then it's happy days. It's just a case of then working the swim, whether it be fishing on the bottom, fishing in the upper layers, but that will determine on the angler to persevere with likes of zigs and see if they want the bait, and obviously whatever one works on the day, then that's what you've got to stick to, and you can have a real big hit.